I gave him a condom. He didn't have one.
Oh, it feels like you stuck me with a hot poker.
It's the swab for wheat-based allergies.
I've been eating wheat my entire life.
None of his blood sample shows he's allergic to it.
Then he's allergic to something not on the test.
Interesting, what looks like an allergy acts like an allergy but doesn't test like an allergy. That is curious as well, because when he's given steroids, then he still has these allergic symptoms, which makes me think that it isn't just something interfering with the test. It must genuinely be something that hasn't been picked up by the team. I'm reacting to House MD Season 8, Episode 5, The Confession. As a doctor working in London, can I get the diagnosis before House does? Let's find out.
Good afternoon, Cedarville. Our annual Community Service Award, Coach Bob of our champion Little League team, the treasurer of our Harvest Scholarship Fund. Bob Harris, get on up here with that beautiful family of yours. Please accept this on behalf of all of us and know that we love you.
Are you alright? You're crushing me. I think you're having a heart attack. I'm gonna call the ambulance.
Just drive me to the hospital.
As the new dean of medicine, I'd like to personally welcome all of our new employees. Why the hell do you want to come back?
We still get to do crazy crap?
Save people's lives instead of just their noses. I told House I couldn't come back until next week. He said he understood completely and that I was fired. I have my kids for the next 2 days. I need a babysitter.
Went into VFib, but shows no signs of heart disease.
What is he doing?
He said he was at work. You're a lot taller than I thought you'd be.
These abrasions on his knees, they're minty fresh. Find out what else he's lying about. Do an exercise test, see if you can get him to go back into VFib again.
We think you were having sex. Maybe we should ask your wife?
Don't. It was a one-time thing. I was having sex at a motel when I started to feel lightheaded.
Taub has brought his little Taubettes into work with him today.
They're not here.
What's that I smell, friend? One more thing. Kitty Winkies. I genuinely wondered who they belong to. I need a DNA sample.
His heart rate's finally elevating.
Dr. Chase said you had something to tell me.
I don't feel very well. He's having a seizure.
So we've gone from abnormal heart rhythm during heartbreak all the way to seizure triggered by the threat of revealing said indiscretions. This is the thing about House now. They're going to ignore the heart, even though she said that he was in a potentially fatal heart rhythm previously that must have been confirmed by a trace. So all we have to go on now is seizure and the fact that we have a community service award recipient who is serving his community in deeper ways than expected. He said this is a one-off, but is it? Maybe a one-off with this partner, but what about all the other Miss Cedarvilles? Would it be a bit too obvious though if he had an STI that ended up in his brain causing the seizure? Syphilis, HIV turning to AIDS, and with super infection? It's all a bit too obvious. Oh, something else just came to mind. Right at the start, the mayor mentioned that the town hero is the owner of the only gas station in town. Operating the gas station means refueling and storing fuel. Doing that could potentially release benzene as it can evaporate into the air and over time build up in his body up until toxic levels. It could present as seizures and would resolve with supportive care and getting rid of his exposure. Oh, that would fit the story and symptoms here pretty well. All right, I'm going for benzene poisoning as my first diagnostic guess. Let's get more clues.
There wasn't any abnormal electrical activity in his EKG when the seizure occurred. A pheochromocytoma. Excess adrenaline can cause heart problems and seizures.
Photic epilepsy. It's equally boring, but it has the advantage of possibly being right. Give him an EEG to confirm.
Like Satan's alarm clock. The EEG didn't show any abnormal brain activity.
You and Parker checking the motel was bumping ugly as that for environmental factors.
You couldn't find a babysitter, get over it. She thinks I'm a prostitute on her turf, showing weakness so it gets you killed. I'm in a dump with a guy almost twice my age.
One of the sensors came loose.
I'll fix it.
What is it?
Not a pheochromocytoma.
The bed tested positive for semen, vaginal secretions, fecal matter, both human and animal.
Bacteria colonized his parapharyngeal space, Lemire syndrome.
I have to tell my wife the truth.
Daddy!
Hey. I need to talk to Mommy alone for a second.
This guy's an idiot. She has to either dump him or forgive him.
Guys, get your stuff. We're leaving. Look, he made a mistake.
but we'll get through this.
He started a betting pool on which kid is yours and which isn't. Bulge wasn't caused by pus or blood, it's tissue inflammation.
You're telling me that this massive fever in his neck and high fevers is just some non-specific inflammation? That's like having your arm cut off and saying, oh, I seem to have misplaced my appendage. I mean, in all fairness, it is possible, but definitely a confused picture here. Passing out with no shaking first, then a seizure, then a normal EEG, and now this confusing bulge. I mean, they did say that there was both human and animal fecal matter on the bed where this guy served his community. Maybe it served him back with a zoonotic disease. That's a condition that would transfer from animals to humans, but which one? Well, Coxiella burnetii or Q fever could potentially present like this, but usually comes from infected farm animals like sheep, goats, or cattle. Maybe one of his regulars is a farm worker by day, milkmaid by night kind of situation. That could have led to him being infected even if his exposure wasn't immediately obvious. If left untreated and it progresses, then he could end up with an infection on the valves of his heart that throw off clots to the rest of the body called infective endocarditis. All of that could potentially be avoided if he just gets the right treatment like doxycycline, and he'll be back to playing farmyard bingo in no time. All right, I'm going for Q fever as my second diagnostic guess. Let's get more clues.
Lymphoma. We need to take a biopsy. His sclera is jaundiced. I think it's his liver. It's failing. Biopsy was clean.
I mean, it's not Lemierre's, but it's still an infection, which is why it's spreading so rapidly.
Blast him with broad-spectrum antibiotics.
Get him a liver transplant first, and then treat him with the broad spectrum.
We can do a partial liver transplant from a living donor.
I'll do it.
If you're a match.
I can't ask someone to do that for me.
There are hundreds of people who would do that for
Because-
you. You are a good man.
Then I have to tell him first. Before I ask any of you to sacrifice 3 months of your life for me, I have a confession. I had an affair. I cheated on Denise. Besides, maybe...
I forgive him.
There's
today.
more. Larry, that new transmission I put in your truck, you didn't need it. In fact, I cheated most of you here tonight. I also took $10,000 from the Harvest Scholarship Fund. I'm not the man you thought I was.
Telling you the truth may have just killed this guy. If people told nothing but the truth, the world would probably burn down overnight.
You need to get reckless and extreme. CT his liver, find the damaged area, and cut it out.
This is his CT scan of his liver from 10 hours ago. This is from now.
Liver function has improved 30%. There's a few extra days before he'll need a transplant.
Why is it regenerating? He's been having an allergic reaction since he got here.
We need to run a scratch test to find out what set it off.
Or who? Two of you go find her and find out what. Two of you start treatment with corticosteroids and epinephrine while you run a scratch test.
I gave him a condom. He didn't have one.
Oh, it feels like you stuck me with a hot poker.
It's the swab for wheat-based allergies.
I've been eating wheat my entire life.
None of his blood sample shows he's allergic to it.
Then he's allergic to something not on the test.
Interesting, what looks like an allergy acts like an allergy but doesn't test like an allergy. That is curious as well, because when he's given steroids, then he still has these allergic symptoms, which makes me think that it isn't just something interfering with the test. It must genuinely be something that hasn't been picked up by the team. Really though, would they keep going down this allergy route if he hasn't responded to treatment? It'd be pretty wild for steroids and epinephrine to not work for it. Both of my previous diagnostic guesses, benzene exposure and Q fever, could still potentially work here. Also, if it was allergy, why would he randomly have a giant lump on his neck? Okay, less questioning, more theorying. He said it felt like he was being stuck with a hot poker when the patch was put on. That is curious because allergy, again, doesn't feel like that. Could, in that case, it not be allergy at all, and it was actually a shingles rash. Hot poker sounds very sharp and very intense. The onset would be unusual, but if he was immunocompromised for some reason, then maybe he had an episode of shingles in the brain causing the seizure event, and then it also affected his chest. That could potentially do it, and also cause the inflamed lymph gland and fevers. Maybe his over-servicing services were causing him stress, which triggered it after his chickenpox infection as a child. It doesn't quite explain the liver though, although it could have been the steroids which affected the liver if the shingles had triggered inflammation causing the liver failure. Possible. All right, I'm going for shingles as my third diagnostic guess. Not very housey, but we are locked in.
We'll start the steroids and see if it clears up.
You have 1 patient and 3 DNA results? You're looking at monkey DNA. House took your results after he manipulated you into providing them.
He's shedding his skin like a snake.
Stevens-Johnson syndrome.
Fits. Case closed.
I feel like I'm in hell. I got one final confession to make. I'm a murderer. I killed my business partner. I shot him in the head. I made it look like suicide. He was just the first.
It's neurological. There's an aneurysm in the anterior communicating artery of his brain.
The aneurysm is just another symptom. It's Kawasaki's disease. Certain carpet cleaning chemicals have been linked to it.
Where are the DNA results?
There wasn't any money missing from the scholarship fund. The affair with that girl. Is that real?
Would never. Have never cheated on you.
I knew you could never do that to me.
Glad you're back.
Me too. Phase 1 of Operation Outer Office 2.0.
No.
Wilson would rather have front row seats to a teratoma pageant than House turning his wall into a sliding blind. Also, Kawasaki's disease, how am I supposed to get that from seizure, neck lump, fever, loss of consciousness? Impossible. I guess that's why they're zebras. They're not going to be giving me the classic red cracked lips and strawberry tongue, are they? House wins again. Kind of sad I didn't get to see Taub's children's DNA results though, but now House knows and Taub doesn't. That is leverage if I've ever seen it. Another pretty high quality episode. 8 out of 10 entertainment, 7.8 out of 10 diagnosis, 7.5 out of 10 accuracy, because the aneurysm wouldn't really cause fake confessions, and then they randomly ignored the VT at the start, but still very interesting nonetheless. This episode makes way more sense though when you watch the previous one where House tries to blackmail a businessman. Here.